Since independence in 1991, Ukraine has strengthened its relations with Britain in political, economic and cultural spheres. But what exactly can Ukraine offer the UK, and how has Russia's war affected relations between the two countries? Joining us here on Viewpoint is Natalia Galibarenko, Ukraine's new ambassador to the UK. Natalia, thank you very much for coming in on Viewpoint.
Thank you for inviting me.
So, first of all, what can Ukraine offer the UK?
To be frank, I think that even despite the economic crisis we are going through, even despite the Russian aggression on the east and the fact that we lost Crimea, we can offer many possibilities for the UK to invest, to cooperate, to trade with Ukraine. Also, starting from the 1st of January next year, the DCFTA will be entering into force. So ample opportunities will be open for our two countries to cooperate. And in my function as a new ambassador, it would be my priority also to try to encourage business contacts between the two countries.
Do you have a strategy for this encouragement for business? Or are you still working it out at the moment from the people that you're speaking to in London?
My idea is actually to try to persuade my colleagues also from their business circles that the fact that we lost Crimea, the fact that we suffered very much from the Russian aggression, we still have many possibilities for investment from the United Kingdom. So we have a very big country with a very potential population, very educated one. So the idea is that the crisis is also an opportunity to reform and also an opportunity to invest and to benefit from this country.
What sort of sectors would you be focusing on?
Coming to my mind, I think that this is, of course, financial banking, where the UK is, of course, a well-known leader. Also, I think about agriculture, also about new possibilities for natural resources, and also I think that maybe setting up joint enterprises will be in the interest of both countries.
So you were talking about the banking sector, and in London, Russian petrodollars flows through the banking sector, and that has influence. So do you think that Ukraine has enough power to overcome this influence?
No, we contest Russian money and Russian influence everywhere in the world, not only in the banking system, for example, but also in information campaign.
Yeah, what can you say about Ukraine that would influence these business people to support Ukraine instead of Russia, which is where they would usually put their support?
I think that the best way is actually maybe to invite and to see what can Ukraine offer. Because for many people abroad and our also Western partners within the European Union is still like a stereotype of looking at Ukraine as a deeply corrupted country. But we now move with a very drastic and resolute reform agenda. We can offer much, tackling, of course, corruption and providing a very favorable environment for the investment and enterprises. So we invite and we can offer. And this is the possibility actually to benefit from a very good and very prospective market.
Yeah, and I lived in London for 6 years, and a lot of people in London that I spoke to don't really know that much about Ukraine, not just the politics of what happens in the country, but culturally as well. So will you be setting up any programs when you move to London to help promote Ukraine?
Of course, and while we are speaking, these days we have a special days of Ukrainian movie and Ukrainian cinemas in London. So my embassy is trying also to facilitate the presentation of a number of Ukrainian movies, actually to show what we are Ukrainians thinking and that we are also Europeans and as British people are. And 1 month ago, if I'm not mistaken with the data, it was as the theatre of Lesa Ukrainka was also visiting London. And they got a very good success within the people for their presentation. Of course, the idea is to show that we have a very big and rich cultural heritage in Ukraine. Also to share our experience and also our values. So the idea is that I will be also trying to facilitate this contact.
And there's a lot of diaspora who live in London as well. So have you been in contact with any of the diaspora to help you out?
We have met already several times, and I will I will be proud, actually, to speak of them, because starting from the very first days of Russian aggression, the Ukrainian community was really resolute and tough, and providing the practical support to our military men on the east. So still they are trying to get the humanitarian aid, providing humanitarian assistance. Also, they purchased some military and technical equipment, actually, to ease the service of our military men on the east. So I can only admire these people, and as ambassador, I will be also trying to facilitate maybe also like their humanitarian mission in Ukraine.
And what about budgets for not just the ambassador's office in London, but worldwide as well? You used to work in the foreign ministry. The budgets are being cut. So how does that affect the services and the investment and the opportunities that Ukraine can provide worldwide?
You know, we have like similar situation in our foreign minister, like in other ministries, I'm afraid. And as we are approaching the new budget year, so the reality is that in order to try to stabilize our economy, we are actually to cut our costs, and actually to try to save money as much as possible. So the idea is to be, you know, to use diplomatic skills in order to save finances. And
how is this done exactly? Is it just looking at the books and cost-cutting where possible? Or?
No, I think that, you know, then while our Russian counterparts, they're trying to organize like a special public conferences with a like rich presentation and many guests coming from Moscow, I think that telling the truth, maybe as you are like at least one ambassador or some diplomats, we can do even more, because we are not presenting some artificial view of Ukraine. We are telling the truth, and that's why we can be stronger.
Do you think the promotional activities of the foreign minister and also of the ambassadors and the embassies, do you think that fully reflects Ukraine? Because often there's been criticism in the past that Ukraine hasn't really sold itself. So do you think this is being done more and more now?
I'm absolutely convinced that we can do more. And I think that the good point is that already in our ministry, we established a special unit dealing with the public diplomacy. And my colleagues are trying also to use, you know, to have an image of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, like in Facebook and Twitter, using also like social opportunities.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
well, it's very important nowadays.
Absolutely, to try also to depict what we are doing. Like the diplomacy is not only what is going beneath, but it is also about what you are doing in the outside world, trying to popularize Ukraine. And of course, our ambassadors should be also like to be more modern in trying to present its country.
How are you going to be more modern when you take up your position?
Oh, it would be, of course, a challenge for me also, because the difference is really big. What you are doing at the post of the deputy foreign minister.
Because traditionally, ambassadors often they give speeches and thank a lot of people, a lot of handshakes as well. But often the public don't actually meet these ambassadors. So do you think in your position you'll be going out more and meeting people and trying to put Ukraine's message across?
I will be trying, to do both together.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hands shaking with relevant people.
Well, that is important also.
This is the good part of our job, just agree with me. But also you are absolutely right, telling that that all ambassadors, we should be meeting more frequently with students, for example, with non-governmental organizations. And in this context, I would like to underline that while I was in the United Kingdom, and my colleagues also from the members of the parliament were visiting London, we all went to the Chatham House, for example, to sit with people, expert students, and, not to read from your prepared papers,
but just also, to talk to people.
Absolutely, just to talk to people, to be really sincere and frank, answering to their questions, because what I admitted, they do know very well about the situation in Ukraine. So this is not the idea of depicting who is the ambassador, who is right, the aggressor, who is right or who is wrong. But this is the idea to explain our rationale, why we are doing this or that.
Okay, excellent. Natalia Galibarenko, thank you very much for coming into Ukraine today.
It was my pleasure.
That was Natalia Galibarenko. She is Ukraine's new ambassador to the UK. Now, back to the news.